Good evening and welcome to Wednesday night's hobby stream. Tonight you're joined by me, Simon, and the voice of Sam. Ooh, spooky.
Yeah.
Bit of a change up tonight. I'm not painting Warhammer things. Tonight I have some Harry Potter miniatures, which aren't even mine, they're my wife's. What about you, Sam? What are you painting this eve?
I've got Twitch on the go at the moment, and I can hear myself talking on top of myself. I'm going to try and carry on with the Korgorath, try and finish that up, because
Nice.
it's getting quite close now to finishing.
I was say, yeah, you can't be far off that now because he's looking lovely. Fair play. So.
Oh, I've been super chuffed with the progress I've made on it. I'm not going to lie.
So there's a story with these Harry Potter miniature things. My wife is very much the Harry Potter nut. She does love a bit of Harry Potter. So back when we were stocking the Harry Potter miniature game, I got her a complete set of literally everything we had in stock, with the sort of the thought that she'd paint and play them with me. And she's just like, yeah. Got started, put a couple of bits of paint on Harry and Hermione, and I was like, nah, do you know what? Not for me. I was like, oh, okay, right. So you're still interested in painting them, but you're not going to paint them. That's going to fall to me at some point then, isn't it?
Yep, always the way.
So they've sat there for a couple of years now, and I was like, right, now do you know what? I'm going to blitz through them, and actually they came out quite well. So they're not anywhere near done yet, but there's my Harry so far. Let's let the camera find the focus on that. Actually, see if we can argue that manually. You gonna do this camera? Maybe. We'll put pictures up later. I've stuck a few up before. And the Unicorn, the Troll, the Dementor, they came out quite well. And I've yet to get as far as faces and things on them, but I'm just trying to get colours and clothes on the majority of the cast before I start getting into faces and things like that. But the problem is because they're...
Get the base stuff done.
Yeah, the problem I've got is because they're all much more naturalistic than what I'm used to painting. I'm doing a lot more blending of colours than I normally would to try and get sort of realistic looking tones rather than massively bright and bold, which is good for my technical skills, I guess. But it's also lots harder work. Where's my white gone? Right, that's tarnish. Right, that could be a slight stumbling block this early. I've lost my white. Where are we going for the whites? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. What have I done with you? There we are. Found it. So I'm mixing up lots and lots of colours. I'll add my palette here so people can see what I'm doing, but it's hideous and rough and ready. What about you? What bits have you got left to finish off on your Korgorath?
So it's all the smaller bits. So it's literally the smaller details, edge highlighting and things like that. Because I've only got 2 of these models. I just want them to stand out a bit more. So.
Oh, I think you've definitely achieved that already before you even get into the fine things. Because the in progress shots you've done so far look fine.
I've come a long way since the days of just using the pot paint straight from the pot.
Indeed. Oh, that's not come out nearly as green as I was hoping. So at the moment I'm trying to find a good colour for this guy. Where has he gone? Remus Lupin. So we're looking for the green for his thing, and I've gone too brown on his green, so we're going to have to... Actually, maybe not once we get it mixed up. Yeah, maybe. We'll give that a go.
I didn't realise it's the summer holidays next week, or the start of the summer holidays.
Yeah, my kids break up on Friday. So yeah, exciting times.
I honestly thought the kids were still in until the end of June, to be honest, but
we are in July.
Oh yeah, we're in July.
This is where we're going wrong. We're a month behind ourselves.
Oh man, I'm just a month. I just lost all forms of tracks of time like this year. Still.
Yeah, it's all still a bit funny, isn't it? So, I mean, still good news in the announcement today is that it looks like August is when Wales will be opening back up, so we can start thinking about getting the shop a bit more active by then. Oh, I keep finding bits of flush that I thought I'd got as well.
Oh, I hate it when that happens. Oh, that sounds like a Ricky.
That sounds like a
Ricky.
Hey!
Woo!
We weren't sure whether Ricky was going to be up to joining us or not because he's had his second COVID jab and is feeling a bit ropey. But thank you for joining us, Ricky.
I just feel a bit tired and my arm is a bit dead. But you know what?
Try not to sleep on it tonight, man.
A double jab.
Yay! He's bulletproof.
I know. So exciting.
Means I can lick you.
Exciting week in SCGC land as well.
Indeed, yeah. It's a
oh yeah, definitely.
Good old Mr. Abner as well, which is exciting times. I should definitely be tuning in for that one.
It's going to be interesting watching you paint the Gaunt's ghost as as you go, as you chat to him.
So yeah, I'm gonna just nip out of this chat a second.
No problem.
Because otherwise you get to see me whirling my camera around trying to.
Oh, but we love the motion sickness.
Okay, be back now.
See you in a minute. Yeah, so there we go. And yes, we've got we've got Emma Vicelli, is it, coming up? So that's the week after Dan Abnett, although they're recording it this week, I'm going to say.
Yes, yeah, it's going to be a pre-recorded.
Or recording it next week. I'm showing the week after. I'm in the same boat as you, Sam. I've got no idea what time or day it is. Who
am I? What am I? Where are these clothes?
Yes, what is my name? Who is my face?
What's this about?
We've just been saying that we've got no idea what time or day it is, ever at the moment. It's all just exciting times.
I think it is a weekday.
Now, we were also trying to work out which day was the Emma Vicelli.
We are recording tomorrow.
Recording tomorrow, but showing on the 26th, wasn't it?
Yes.
And then Dan Abnett is next week, next Monday.
I think this Leadbelcher is finally properly gone.
It's at it.
R.I.P. Leadbelcher.
I think I might be able to get enough out of it to finish off this.
I, on the other hand, have done a sensible thing, and I remember to actually pick up. I'm giving the new Thondia Brown a try to replace my old Army Painter Oak Brown. And I also managed to get some Balthazar Gold, so if I get bored painting these Harry Potter miniatures, I can actually go and do some more on the night I was working on the other week.
I just start throwing out these brushes that are gone, but they're always handy for like technical paints and stuff. But then when I'm trying to
keep the pants ones for technical.
I know, but then when I'm trying to find the ones that I want to use for actual painting,
you just put the bad paintbrushes in like a purgatory pot or something.
And they all live in this mini egg cup.
The home for naughty paintbrushes.
I mean, everyone has like a dice jail or something, don't they? So you just like have the purgatory pot.
So, you guys looking forward to the new Warhammer releases?
Yes.
I think so. It's one of those ones. It's going to be one and done because it's another splash release. Sort of limited quantities are being released to independents. I think it's gonna feel worse than the Sisters of Battle one did in terms of just how many people were able to give access to.
Man, don't talk to me about the Sisters of Battle stuff. That was a headache and a half. That was.
But yeah, I mean, this is going to be the same. Most indie stores like us are only getting 5 copies a piece, And
I heard about that.
and annoyingly, this is the one that everyone seems to want. It's just like, oh, come on. I've got plenty of Dominion left if anyone wants that. But yeah, the thing that people actually seem to want, that's...
But you got 2 sales of all this orc stuff.
Well, the problem is I've got...
online now.
I've got about... Yeah, I've got 2 people who definitely want it, but the problem is I've got about 5 copies... Well, I've got definitely 5 copies coming in. I've probably had at least 10, 12 people get in touch saying, are you doing pre-orders? And that's... So from a business point of view, that's 10, 12 copies I could have sold if I could have taken pre-orders already and they'd provided a reasonable supply. I'm like, so yeah. I know I'm going to have to be disappointing somebody, so it's just going to have to be first come, first served on Saturday. Get your ring-ins in as quickly as possible, and that sucks. Because
good thing I'm in at 9:30.
But yes, I mean, we're only going to be disappointing regulars, and that's the other thing. It's not like we've had sort of out-of-towners or anyone else. I
guess I'm giving Kieran a lift to work on Saturday.
The shenanigans, the behind-the-scenes shenanigans.
I mean, it sounds bad, like, where I'm using the staff privilege of being in the shop and literally putting my name down for something, but it's like, yeah.
Everyone wants to buy it. It's yeah. But it is what it is.
I just hope they don't do that for the Kill Team box as well, because a lot of people are looking forward for that one.
See, Kill Team I'm a bit less sure of, because Kill Team's never sold very well. It's always been all right, but it's never been a sort of out-the-window success, and people will buy it for the Death Guard stuff, Death Corps stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think people are going to switch wholesale to playing Kill Team, because there's so many people already invested in playing 40k as their main game.
Plastic Commandos.
Well, it is, but it's...
I know. It's...
How many people have been waiting to do a Death Corps army that didn't already tip over into Forge World? That's the... I mean, it's nice, but it's one of those... I mean, we saw the same sort of thing with Sisters. We didn't see as many people pick up as we thought we would, because everyone's been saying, I want Sisters and Plastic for ages, but at the end of the day, not everyone wanted a Sisters army, even though they said they wanted a Sisters army.
I was on about the Plastic Commandos for orcs.
Oh, for orcs, yeah. Priorities.
Priorities. I know, like, loads of people have been saying about Death Corp for ages, but like, we had Harry on the stream, that Ranger of Krieg on the stream, and telling us that about how awkward it is with the Krieg on Forge World only, and
yeah. And no, don't get me wrong, it'd be nice to see it, and I wonder if that's a sort of move we might see of the other Forge World exclusive lines, so whether they'll bring Elysians back in a year or two, which would be nice, because those sort of Taurox APC things, which were very much like the not Taurox, Tauros Venerators, the little buggies that are a bit like the Gene Stealer Colts buggy, but not, honest Gov. Those were really lovely, and the idea of grab insertion troopers was always a fun one back in the day. But yeah, I don't know.
But you might get lucky and they might bring squats back now.
You never know. Which will probably annoy me if they do, because I've got them all configured as Imperial Guard now for the 20 years plus they've spent in Purgatory. Yeah, it's one of those things. It's like I don't think Kill Team will be as big a deal as everyone thinks it is, because even though, having played the last 3 iterations of Kill Team, I quite enjoy it, there's not that many people are willing to sit down and commit to a narrative game or a long campaign, and that's where Kill Team and Necromunda and things like that work best, is when you are playing it with the advancement campaign.
Oh, I'll just be picking up the box, splitting the Krieg things, and just flipping the rule book and cards, because
you just want commandos.
Well, it also comes with like orc scenery as well.
There's a lot of orc scenery that I want to.
Because you've got the mech workshop in there, and there's like a lot of other stuff that I haven't seen in other kits. So that's literally what I'm doing.
I'm not suggesting it's not going to be a good set. I'm just it's one of those ones that the actual thing it's for isn't necessarily going to be the thing that sells it on, if you know what I mean. So today.
Oh yeah.
Weirdness.
Yeah, it is going to be like a second edition, whatever edition. Kill Team's on third, is it?
Fifth. You had the original, then you had the version that was in the back of a, because I think originally it was out in a White Dwarf magazine. Then you had the version that was in the back of 4th or 5th edition, which was called 40k in 40 minutes, which was functionally Kill Team. And then you had the 2015 version, which was a box set with Tau and Marines, and then you had the more recent red box set. Then you had the reprint of the more recent box set plus the Rogue Trader and Necron-y themed sets for it. So yeah, probably for 5th or 6th rules iteration and third or 4th box release for it.
I started playing towards 7th edition with the Kill Team. That's when I first started playing 40k, at least. And that was with the Kill Team.
Yeah.
I like the idea of Kill Team because it just seems that it's going to be quick compared to like look how long it took us to film that episode.
Yeah, I mean, and Kill Team should be a bit quicker, but usually because it's a squad-based game, they tend to put a bit more granularity in it, so it doesn't ever quite get as fast as you think it will, because rather than moving entire units, you're moving individual models, and each of those models has got its own special rules, or can do its own thing, or can fire itself, or shenanigans.
To be fair, the game that we had with me and Kieran, it would be done like within under an hour, but because we're so rusty on the rules, that took up time as well.
Yeah. I mean, in theory, Kill Team games should be done in like an hour, realistically. Probably faster than that. And when we ran the in-store mini league for it, back when the most recent red box thing came out for it, the games for that were done fairly quickly, but it was just getting people to stick around for the whole campaign was the issue.
Yeah, unless you got people who are dedicated and want to actually play it, it is quite hard to get people to stick around.
You go around, throw a combat knife at them and stick them to a wall.
See, that's where I've been going wrong this time. Right.
I don't think it'll go down well if we started knifing people in the shop. I mean, we'd be giving them the Swansea culture, but
I mean, what about if we gaffer tape them? What about if we gaffer tape them? That would be all right, wouldn't it?
Oh man, that would be just like my old days back at college.
And you could still get away with saying "stick around" in an Arnie voice.
Yeah, exactly.
So, who are you painting, Simon?
At the moment, Gilderoy Lockhart, I think. No, I'm not. See, this is the problem. I don't actually know Harry Potter. He's one of the Order of the Phoenix. He's one of these guys. I'm going to move some of these out of the way so they're not cluttering up the background of the image. Get off.
Is it Gary Oldman?
Yes.
Then it's Sirius Black.
That's the one. There we are. See?
Serious.
There we are. I am indeed serious.
I'll sue myself out.
That was a dicey comment, so. Which is for those of you wondering where that's, we sell a range of dice called Serious Dice, so it's a poor pun that only real dice goblins are going to get.
Oh, did you have a look at that dice advent calendar I mentioned?
I haven't as yet. No, I must admit it did slip my mind, but fling me the link to that again, or in fact I'll probably see you tomorrow because I I think Ree's off tomorrow, so she'll be minding Erin. So I will.
Oh yeah, how is she doing?
She's absolutely.
Erin and Ree.
Yeah, so Erin's absolutely fine. She's off school because someone else in her year group has tested positive for COVID, so they've sent the entire year home. So
that sucks. So the last week
it does last week of term, but it basically means we've had an awesome day today. We've been sat in the garden playing card games and board games and jigsaws, and yeah, we've sat and watched TV, and we've generally geeked out father and daughter day. So, and she's done all right for me out of snacks as well. So she's had a pretty good day of it, considering she couldn't be in school. Yeah, Ree's fine too. She's just got back from her running class, so you might have heard the kettle on in the background a minute ago. But yeah, tomorrow's one of her just general days off work, so she'll mind Erin and have her turn at monopolising the daughter, because I had my turn today, and that means I can head on down to the shop, and so yeah, we can catch up and see those bits now, and I can see whether our monkeys have finished refitting the bathroom as well.
Oh, it was actually quite funny when we had the cleaner in earlier, because he was like, I said to him, it's like, oh, have you been briefed on what was going on? And he was like, oh, I've just been told I need to clean a carpet. I was like, there's like 2 flights of stairs. Oh, pardon me. There's 2 flights of stairs to go up. And he was like, oh, no one told me that. I was like,
bless them. Yeah, they have not done the best job. But we're nearing the end now. And with a slight tongue-in-cheekness, at least the Welsh Government announcement wasn't that we could open up on Monday, because the upstairs now wouldn't be ready for Monday. But
yeah, I'm actually generally well, no, I'm not surprised. I tell a lie. Like I was actually more disappointed with the fact we didn't get the questions earlier regarding the whole announcement, because I'd be like, I had a customer coming in and tell me about it. I was like, oh right, okay, because when I can, I'll keep on top of the announcements, but obviously because of work I couldn't have the phone on the go and listening to that whilst serving customers and going through all of Magic's pre-release stuff. But yeah, I had a quick look on there and I was like, oh right, okay, that actually looks pretty good. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it sounds promising, and basically it looks like we're going to be able to bring back regular in-store gaming pretty much how it was pre-COVID, with a bit more paperwork for people to fill in, so we've got track and trace followability.
Yeah, I figured something was going on, because like I noticed like a lot of stuff has gone from the first floor. The first floor.
Oh, so first floor was just me having a well overdue tidy up, because in anticipation of the announcement, I was like, right, well, we need to find somewhere to store all these screens that we made and barely used.
Yeah.
And
do me a favour, Si. Tomorrow, kick me up the blooming arse to take my models home. I have a terrible thing of just leaving them there.
Oh, I stuck them on your shelf rather than up on the top floor, so they're back down on your shelf instead of up on the first floor. So don't worry, they're not. Okay. They're safe. I moved them before I started hurling things around. But yeah, I
know that. I'm just saying, just like make sure you kick me up the backside to take them away or take them home or something.
See, I don't mind when you take them home, because that's what your shelves are there for. If you guys want to store stuff out back, you crack on. But no, I nearly broke myself on was it Monday? I was in last, or Tuesday? Monday, because I was doing a bunch of recycling. I got rid of some of the old chairs. I got rid of the old shelving system that we don't use anymore. At the princely sum of £24, taking it along to the recycling. Yay! Went up the scrappies, and but yes, it literally filled the back of my car with the amount of scrap metal we had lurking around the store in one way, shape or form, and which is why it all looks a bit tidier on the first floor, and it's starting to look tidier in the back room as well.
Yeah, I gave the floor a good sweeping this morning because of all the debris and stuff, and I was like, right, let's get rid of all these tripping hazards, because someone's going to end up hurting themselves.
Someone's going to go for a bet. How about you, Ricky? How's your week other than jabbing been? Because we could talk shop all evening, but we've meant to talk hobby as well. So
Yeah, it coincides with what we're hoping to be back in store and everything, so it makes sense to chat about that. My week's been pretty dull. I've been back in work and jabby jab. So
Yeah. I'd just like to take an off moment thing to curse you for getting me into Valheim, because I'm now putting far too many hours into that game. It's a bit addictive.
I know. I had no one would play with me last night, so I didn't bother because it's the playing with others that I enjoy about it.
Yeah, I
So,
mean, I really enjoyed this session we had with Kieran, and I tried, because I had a bit of a play today while Erin was happily occupied playing her iPad briefly. I was like, do you know what? I'll just stick it on for half an hour while she's playing. No, and I had to go at a troll on my own, and oh man, did I get ruined. So I can see the advantages of playing with others, because it looks like some of the challenges are set up so that you've got to have other players there, or you've got to be significantly better on your own, or just better at computer games than I am to.
but yeah, I am, and like that's worth pointing out is that we've set up like a server, that's going to be open to anyone who fancies joining us. Apparently, you can have up to 10 on the server. So if you look at our Discord, you can have a look. And whenever we say, I'm shaking a paint that I'm not even using, look in join our Discord. Keep an eye on the video gaming group, and when we're playing, we'll put up
Links and passwords.
Yeah. So.
Just lost the guy I was going to paint now.
Yeah, so that is that, and I'm going to be shaking this for a while, so you might just start hearing everything in my room rattle now. Because look at it, it's so chalky.
Is that game like Dark Souls, but like on just for?
It's like Dark Souls meets Minecraft meets Vikings.
Okay.
So yeah, it's actually surprisingly good. It's a bit grindy in terms of you've got to kill like a million things to get enough resources to make thing X. But once you're working sort of in a team, you can do that quite easily. So sort of in game days, it took me significantly longer playing on a solo world to get to the point where Ricky, Kieran and I got in 3 hours of playing as a team, and Chris joined us the second time we played it.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you've got sort of 3 people out gathering wood resources before you try and build your fort, then suddenly it's a lot more doable.
So, like, Kieran likes to do the building side of it, so me and Simon would go gathering resources and meat and stuff, and then we'd come back and
Kieran would have built another bit of the palace that he's creating.
Yeah, so there's plenty of room if you want to join us. Come and join us.
Well, it was only like 15 quid on Steam or something. It was not bank breaking, and it doesn't, because the graphics aren't overkill, so it doesn't seem to be too intensive to run either.
No. It's quite well done.
Oh, go on.
I was just going to say, graphics-wise, it's quite well done. And like, it looks really nice. Just when you look at it quickly, if you look too closely, you can see how kind of the corners that they've cut. But it looks well done. It's kind of like not like Breath of the Wild, in that it looks amazing when you look at it from afar. And if you look too close, you can see, yeah, okay, I can see where like they've cut corners by doing the cell shading and things like that.
Oh, right.
But it looks great for what it is. And yeah, come and join us.
And also the learning curve is a lot less steep if you're playing with people as well, because the in-game tutorial Raven thing is not the most helpful fella.
No, he scares you half the time.
But, it's Daddy Great Raven. Help. By the way, he's talking to me. Yes.
Almost there.
As bad as it sounds, I got to really think about what I want to actually spend money on, for things.
Well, no,
Yeah, well, that's adulting.
Yeah, that is the unfortunate bit of being a grown-up. But
holy hell, I'm a grown-up now.
It was close enough to payday when Ricky told me about it. I was like, do you know what? Go on. I haven't treated myself this month.
Well, I haven't really got myself anything, but there's a great big stonking big box that's due to come out in a week's time, or unless they're doing it whole 2 weeks time thing. That's fluttering bedroom eyes at me.
And a magic set as well. I don't know whether you're buying into the whole D&D Forgotten Realms thing.
Oh yeah, it'll be just a one and done thing. Like a lot of people have said, because they're not playing Magic as much, there's no point in buying heavily into any sets.
It's.
Funny thing is,
yep.
They've actually announced a ban of a card already from the set for Magic Arena.
That's good skills. They haven't even fully released the set yet, and they've banned a card.
Yeah, they've realised certain 2 cards from that actual particular set are foils. I think it's either takes all your opponent's lands or does something related to their lands, and it's we probably shouldn't have this going straight in. So yeah, before the set is even out, they've already done a preempted ban.
Nice. R&D is alive and well.
R&D is amazing.
So that's quite clever to ban a card before it comes out.
Mm.
I mean, no
Just
doubt people will be putting it in that combo in their commander decks anyway. And that's, I think,
probably,
that's the advantage of a format like Commander, is other than the fact you can put stupid things in like steal all your opponent's lands or something, is that it's not one you really have to keep up with. So you can have your deck, you can sort of fine tune it over the years, and if something comes out in a set that you like the look of, you can slowly try and cram it in your deck without having to worry about keeping your deck current for tournament play.
They did ban something from Commander the other day, though, didn't they?
Yeah, Hull Breacher got banned. Which is a card that basically generates a treasure for whenever someone draws an additional card that's not their one for the first one for the turn. So it's basically, it was definitely taking the mick out of all wheel effects and stuff. So some people were a bit annoyed. Others laughed. I laughed because everyone was buying loads of copies of this card. And it's it's gonna get banned, guys. It's gonna go. They're not gonna get rid of expensive cards for the sake of one card that's been recently printed. So yeah, that got banned. Like I said, some people weren't particularly happy with it. So. We got a Mango Smasher.
That's a good username.
Mango Smasher sounds like a good name. Hello. Welcome to the stream.
I'd like to hope there was a part of a clan, and maybe Pineapple Devastator and Orange Crusher. Other cool names as well. Fruits of Destruction. Oh, that could be like a 80s hair metal band, the Fruits of Destruction. We are good, thank you, Mango Smasher. We are riffing and generally not making much sense and painting some models. So, as I said at the start, I'm painting some Harry Potter miniatures. People from Order of the Phoenix and Hogwarts professors predominantly this evening. Sam is unfortunately not able to put a camera on because of a setup, but is painting a Age of Sigmar Korgorath, and Ricky is Plague Burst Crawler. No, it's a Plague Burst Crawler. So my
No, Mephytic
Mephytic
Blight-Hauler.
Blight-Hauler. I can half see my screen past my camera stand, so I was like, I can see Death Guard colours. Take a chance. It's a Blight-Hauler. Nope.
It is a Blight-Hauler.
It is a Blight-Hauler. I got it right the second time.
And now you're seeing double.
2 for the price of 1. No, wait. 2 for the price of 2.
I got one in the cupboard that isn't even primed yet, but it's... I don't know where I put the base.
Oh. I started properly watching Star Wars with Alid today as well. So he got back from school, and obviously wanted to spend a bit of time with him because I had it all day with Erin, so I wanted to give him a bit of daddy time as well. And he's been taking a bit of an interest in Star Wars the last few days because he got himself a Star Wars Lego comic and has been rediscovering his Star Wars again. So we're sitting down and we're going to, over the next few weeks, watch them 1 to 9 in order, regardless of my own personal feelings about 7, 8 and 9 when we get there. And I'm going to mostly facilitate his enjoyment of them rather than going, wow, this bit doesn't fit.
You're going to have to hold your nerd rage in for the benefit of your son.
Oh, we've got to get past R2-D2 flying for me to do that.
Oh, well, that's in... if you watch in 1, 2, 3, that order,
yep,
then that's straight away.
Yep, I know.
It kind of makes sense. He's an astral droid. He should have some sort of thrusters.
Yeah.
Whether or not he'd have enough thrust to take off on a planetary body, but
yeah, it's the thing that always got me about it was the retro or retconning of stuff that in other things in the original 3, if he'd had them, why wouldn't he have used them at point X, Y, and Z? That was my main gripe with it. Is they added it because it was cool whistles and bells and would have sold more R2-D2 merch, not because it was necessarily a plot required device. It was just a cool thing. And yeah, but that's the least of the problems with those films. It's just one of my particular personal bugbears.
It's one of those things, like, you know, the Kieran's, those are Star Wars to them.
Yeah.
Because that's what came out when they were kids. And, like, I grew up with the original ones, so that's Star Wars for me. I did like 7, 8, and 9 as well, I gotta admit. Like, not to the same extent that I like 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah.
But I did like 7, 8, and 9.
See,
I think they made some missteps along the way.
I like the look of 7, 8, and 9. But I didn't like the plotting, if you know what I mean. So they looked like Star Wars films. They felt like Star Wars films. They just didn't sit nicely in the plot at all.
No, and it felt like very hodgepodge as well. So, like, it didn't feel like someone had... Like, J.J. Abrams was supposed to be, like, running the show. But it felt like he didn't sit down and tell Rian Johnson where they were going.
Yeah.
He didn't captain the ship very well. But then things just kind of fell apart.
Yeah.
And, you know, if it wasn't for like, you know, I don't like you. It's fine if you didn't like them. That's your personal choice. But I didn't like how toxic some of the fandom became about it. That really annoyed me. Like, I think the Finn story in episode 8 is pointless. They put him in and then almost immediately wrote him out wrote him into insignificance. Yeah, and the story itself, it's weird in that it's quite an enjoyable thing. Kind of like a bad version of Raiders of the Lost Ark. You know,
Yeah.
Indiana Jones doesn't actually do anything in Raiders, but it's a fun ride.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like that with Last Jedi. Yeah, Last Jedi. In that, it was fun to watch, but it went nowhere and done nothing.
Yes.
And then, like, when you got the other story, which was interesting but didn't make any sense, it's kind of like, yeah, I don't know why you had to take Finn out of this storyline, because it could have been someone to, you know, butt heads with Poe more reasonably than what was happening.
Yeah, I think a lot of it comes down to directors wanting to put too much of a stamp on the film rather than wanting to continue the franchise, if you know what I mean. I think that's what it was for me. It was all too much. Let's see how different but the same we can make this, or rather than where's the logical continuation of this really good story. It's more of a, can we put a weird twist in there, or can we have this cool thing because it's cool, not because it makes one jot of sense. And the other thing for me is they had so much good stuff with the extended universe canon. They could have done a bunch of other things, gone down sort of the Thrawn plot lines. They could have gone down the Truce at Bakura plot lines. They could have done any sort of one of those other cool things that Timothy Zahn or the others.
And they'd probably
about.
have to pay Timothy Zahn.
Yeah, but I mean, considering what they probably paid J.J. Abrams, they probably could have saved something by doing that. There's an argument to say that getting the rights for those things, which they probably, being Disney and Star Wars, probably already had the rights for a lot of it.
Yeah, they probably. And to be fair, it's not as if he probably wrote his work for hire, so it's no different to the way that they're going to treat comic book writers, is it?
Yeah. But I don't know. It's just a shame, considering it looks like they're sort of starting to work some of the extended universe stuff back into it now.
Well, Thrawn was in there before it because he was in Rebels.
Yeah.
And he was great in Rebels too. But
anyway, let's move on from that, because we've silenced Sam with our nerd raging. So let's change tack. Are you guys looking forward to Friday?
Yes.
A bit more pirating.
In regards to the whole like me being absolutely quiet, I've only watched like the Star Wars movies. I'm not really in depth in the whole series, like how extreme some of the fans can get. But I like the idea of like Kylo Ren is basically the physical embodiment of like the old fans, and basically how they just want the same thing done day in, day out for their movies, and you know, it just has to carry on. You know, there has to be changes made.
That's kind of right, kind of wrong, because, you know, if they do different, like in the prequels, the old school fans didn't like that, and if you do too similar, like in The Force Awakens, which is basically a retelling of
A New Hope.
A New Hope, they don't like that either.
It's a gender bent New Hope. Fudge. It's also a case of like whatever the mouse wants done with a series, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
Well,
you know.
No, I don't think. I think people give Disney too much credit for evil and not enough credit for just sheer greed. So I don't imagine the people at the top of Disney give a rat's butt what the plot of a film is, providing it makes them money and doesn't get them in trouble.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's the thing. And at the end of the day, like, for Disney, all they want to do is basically have a film that coexists with the amount of, like, you know, memorabilia they can, like, throw out and, like, sell at the same time. I mean, was the same like back in like the 70s, 80s with Star Wars. Like they always had like new waves of like particular characters and stuff. So it's just a same stuff, different smell, whilst being like a bit more
fit for consumption.
not so,
yes.
Yeah.
But yeah. No, going back to Friday. So we've got our Pathfinder stream coming up on Friday for those of you watching and who like a bit of role playing. And we have some piratey treats installed, so this will be the 3rd instalment. And you guys are about to start getting some plot development stuff. You've sort of had a play at sort of being pirates and learning how it all works. And interesting things should start creeping in. Should be quite interesting.
So we had someone on the stream on Monday. Was it Sam? Yeah, Monday. Who was telling that when me and Sam Adam mentioned it, they were like, "Oh, it's brilliant, love it." So it was really nice hearing feedback.
Yeah,
I think Sam had some feedback from someone in the store as well.
Yeah, someone actually came into the shop to talk about the whole stream thing.
Oh, that's cool.
Which was kind of weird and sort of put me on the spot because it's like I got to try and act like my work self, but not be my stream self, which is a bit more. Chilled back and like hair is down and all that, and it's like, well, thank you for your feedback. But no, that was like legit super nice. That was.
Yeah, critical role. Yes. Critical role. We are not, but it's nice to think that we're pitching something interesting enough that people are bothering to watch it and enjoying it. Yeah, which is good. But yes, I shall be refreshing myself on exactly what goodies you guys have got in store come Friday. But suffice to say, from what I remember of my reading ahead, because I never know quite how far you guys are going to get in a given session, and because I'm quite happy to let you roll with whatever stuff you happen to wander into, then as a GM for me, it doesn't matter if it takes you sort of 4 sessions to explore the joys of getting to know the crew, or whether it takes you a session and you're done with it and you're ready to go and kill stuff.
And surely it is better for us to take a bit longer than do everything you've prepared in 20 minutes.
Yes, that is GM's worst nightmare. It's like, oh, they're so far past what I prepared for. It's on the spot time.
As I say, it's like herding cats.
Yes. I tend to go with the don't bother herding them, just let them run free. Run wild, run free, cats. See what interesting tidbits you bring back. Speaking of that, my darling cat brought a butterfly in for us today. Like hocked it up, which was lovely, except he hocked it up at Erin's feet. And she's like, Daddy, there's a butterfly. Doubly less impressed because only a couple of weeks ago we'd sort of raised some butterflies with the kids. So sort of one of these subscription service things where you get them as caterpillars and sort of watch them grow and crystallise and such like. And yeah, she was like, "Oh, butterfly," but it's okay. It wasn't one of our ones. It wasn't the right colours. I was like, "Oh, good. Thank God for that." Now we don't have to sell the cat.
I was going to say you didn't break its air, and that butterflies only live for a week after they've been released from their cocoons.
And we won't be.
Okay,
not for a long time.
She's watching this on YouTube in like 20 years.
She'll be rocking in 20 years' time, going, "Oh, it's time for therapy." Oh, I wish I could see what colour. Oh, I can see what colour shoes you've got. You've got brown shoes. Dagnabbit. I've got black, and I want to paint black shoes. You look like someone who'd wear black shoes. The one thing I'm not going to be doing with these guys is trying to paint pinstripe suits, because oh my god, that just looks like a hiding to nothing.
It's where you just gently brush with like a psycho paintbrush.
Yeah.
Just use the army painter one, and you just like gently glide across with it, and just hope that the paint like sort of comes off.
Yeah, I don't trust my steadiness of hand not to make that a bit terrible.
So once they're all painted, are you going to be playing?
We'll probably at least have one game of it, but it's... I don't know, I've read the rules through with it, and I wasn't massively impressed with it. I mean, it's a skirmish war game, basically. So you basically build two teams of opposing wizards and go and throw spells at each other. It doesn't fit the actual setting, if you know what I mean. Yeah, it's so I can get it because Night Models, obviously they make the Batman game and bits and bobs like that, but yeah, it didn't feel like a terribly good fit for the system, even though the sort
You have to re-release the rules like better written ones.
not as I recall for this one. They did with the Batman, and it's tricky because Night are Spanish, so obviously their rules are coming over in translation.
Oh yeah, good point.
But yeah, they're not the most in depth or thing rules. They'd be fun for an evening's game, but I can't see sort of it working as a campaign thing. And it's, if you imagine X-Wing with Harry Potter models but on a grid board, that's...
Well, didn't we have a customer that was working on like doing sort of a Quidditch game using the X-Wing rules?
Oh, I don't remember that one. That's cool.
I think it was Stephanie Sorensen. She was trying to figure out a way of like doing Quidditch, but with using the X-Wing or attack wing rules.
That's cool.
Which,
that I can see working.
Yeah.
What colour would mandibles be?
Mandibles, I'd be tempted to go for a bony colour, but they're often the same colour as whatever the carapace is of the thing. So maybe go for a bone underlay with the Death Guard green outer surface. Right. Blow my purple. Sorry, blow my purple if I'm doing it properly.
God damn, why does washes take so long to dry?
That's why you've got two of them to paint, right? Wash
no,
one,
I
wash one, head back for the other.
I got the rookie mistake of just having one model on the go.
Oh, no.
A list of all the paint sets for this model, and I've also got their army painter equivalent as well, which I need to double check if I have the particular colours or not, which is always going to be fun. Oh, there's a pure red, because I'll need to do that for certain highlights. I've seen period. That's a Japanese. That is for bolt action. Apparently, I have Rune's Fang Steel. Where, I don't know.
Who's that on on the Japanese?
Sorry?
On the Japanese, or you have Rune Fang Steel, but you haven't got it. Is it?
Well, I apparently ticked it saying that I have got Rune Fang Steel, but that's not for the Japanese. The page afterwards has the Army Painter Japanese paint scheme.
I mean, I guess if it was on the Japanese, it could be like buckles and bits and bobs, or knife blades and things like that, if they're trenching tools. But as to where your paint is hiding, I cannot help you on that one.
I've legit had a lot of fun painting this guy up. It's been good.
Yeah, these I've actually quite enjoyed as well, because they seem to go quite fast, if you know what I mean. So, although there's about 25 of them I've got. That's one of those. Yeah,
you guys are lying. You're saying the word fun in regard to painting. I don't believe it.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm dreading doing the faces. That's nightmare time for me because I'm so rubbish at eyes. I'm almost tempted just to wash the faces and hope no one ever looks too hard at them. But
just do the wash on the faces if you have to.
yeah,
The problem is because they're more like human-like with them. You're gonna have to do more of a proper Caucasian color scheme, aren't you?
bar one who's Afro-Caribbean skin tones, but yeah, and I think there's one Asian sort of Chinese actress base model, I think. So yeah, it's three different styles of skin tones. And yeah,
I'm trying to think of. Cho Chang, is
that's
it?
the one.
And Kingsley Shacklebolt is the one that you're painting there, who's the black fella.
There we are. So yeah, I think I've read the first couple of books. I might have read more than that, but yeah, it didn't really stick. So
I really enjoyed them. I find it really hard now because I don't like her.
now
You can still like enjoy the actual series. You just got to separate it from the creator.
right, what are we on next then?
Unless Rowling starts doing re-edits of it, and then she starts releasing particular editions, which...
Well, she's done that since she's finished, you know. Like, retroactively, she made Dumbledore gay after it was all over.
Yeah.
It's not in the text, but she went, yeah. Which is fine. But she said, it's a weird thing that she made a book that's so much about inclusion.
Yeah.
But let's not dwell on that.
Yeah,
It's a lovely, lovely book series. It's just... Yeah, let's just leave it at that.
separate the author from their work, providing their work doesn't propagate their not nice agendas. That's probably the best way to do it, if you can.
Yeah, pretty much that.
And if it's appropriate to do so. Now, is that dark enough? What do you reckon? Come on, let's turn it around. So I can brown this time. And Hagrid's underjacket. See, I know this one. I can do him.
Yeah, that's Robbie Coltrane from James Bond.
I know a Hagrid. I know what that is.
I can characterize. Now, I've been from time to time asking my wife if I'm hitting it right, and I had about 3 or 4 coats getting the Malfoy's hair right, because although the sort of the miniature insert that I've been using as a colour reference guide had them quite blonde. Apparently they are very sort of white blonde, strawberry blonde sort of haired. So I had to get quite creative to achieve a more sort of in character look, as it were, which is quite cool.
But are the models based off the actual
models based off the actors?
Oh, right, okay.
So yeah, we ended up with Lucius's hair compared to a blonde,
cool.
if you know what I mean. So it's actually come out quite nicely. I forget my camera's back to front. Yeah, so there. I was quite pleased with the hair tone when I got there, but I was just like, oh man, now I've got to really up my blending game to try and get the right shades. And again, they'll look even better once I start getting some washes in them to pick up the details, because the night models are actually really nicely detailed. Fragile as all get out. I've Ron Weasley's wand so many times and re-superglued it in the case of just passing him by. It's like you look at the model funny and his wand breaks.
Did Knights do the Watchmen and the Marvel miniatures game, or was that a different company?
They did do the Watchmen one. There was a brief bit they were doing some Marvel, but they didn't have the license for it for very long.
It was the mouse bought then.
Yeah, it was pretty much that. That was the reason.
But yeah, no, they did all of those. We've stocked most of them over the years, but unfortunately, locally we've not got too many people still playing it, so we'll get them into order from now. But it's gone from where sort of back when the Batman miniature game first came out, we were literally buying every release and some as they were coming out and selling through, and now it's sort of like, yeah, we'll get that specific model if someone wants it, but otherwise don't buy any of it, because I don't know whether we just lost a cohort of players or whether people moved away for uni or something, but we definitely downsized our player base.
Yeah.
There's a few good ones still around, like sort of Martin and Greg and those sort of bunch, but apparently also I've made Hagrid's shirt 2 pink, so I've got to go back in and do that in a bit as well.
Oh, you don't want to do that.
So I think he was just having a different style day. That was my take on it. He's just a...
Well, he carries around a pink umbrella.
Perhaps he's just doing one of those wear wacky shirts to work type of day thing.
Yeah, let's go with that. No, I think a chaotic red or something like that, and then we'll probably get it. But I had a bit of the pink from her hair. I was like, do you know what? We'll see if that works.
Instead of wacky tacky tie, it's like wacky tacky shirt.
What colour I originally bought for like the guts of the Great and Clean one, because I think I'll do that in the inside.
Screamer pink, I'm going to go with.
Yeah?
Yeah, I reckon you went Screamer pink for that. That would be my guess.
Where did I hide that in my pink rack?
Oh, speaking of which, Sam, we should have paint racks back in by the start of next week, because we had the Kingsley order confirmed today, so those,
heck yeah.
Those will start coming through, which would be nice.
I can't find my Screamer pink.
Boo. I mean, take corn red, add white to it till you get a colour you like.
I might try. Blood Angels red. Oh no. Yeah, let's go with the Flesh Terror red.
God damn, I love this wet palette.
I've been.
Oh, you've got a new one now, haven't you?
It was the best trade deal known to man. Literally 2 bottles of Coke and that was it.
Nice. See, I've been, since painting these guys, I've been reconsidering our chat the other week about wet palettes, and I was thinking I probably should have one because I'm making colours up on the fly rather than just painting out the bottle as is my normal want.
Oh yeah, definitely. And the thing is, because the way the weather is at the moment, the paints will dry up as well if they're not left on somewhere that's wet.
True enough.
That is the main reason I use a wet palette. Is it keeps the paint wet longer, so then you don't have to worry about wasting so much paint. Or
Yeah.
I got my eyes messaging me.
Yeah. So which colour is this? Where is the Kieran this evening? I haven't.
He's downstairs.
Making land flat on Valheim.
No, I don't know. He's been playing this game where him and Kieran Jenkins have been playing this game where they play as like ragdoll type creatures,
Right.
and they gotta push each other off roofs and stuff like that. Gang beasts or something.
Oh, yeah, I know that. I know that game.
So you might be doing that, or you might be watching Yogg's cast,
Oh,
and you should be watching us.
yes. No loyalty these days. Can't get the staff.
Can't get the family.
So we're going to have to start reconsidering what the contract consists of now. You know, because these things keep on cropping up.
They do. We need the cultural references clause. We need the mandatory viewing hours clause. The first weekend in May, last weekend in April, or whenever convention happens to be, you belong to us clause.
Oh, God, yeah.
I mean, to be fair, staff are always really good about that. But I think that first year we nearly broke Titch, didn't we? 'Cause I remember him, Phil, and some of the other crowd that volunteered for us that first year just coming back in and collapsing on the shop floor. They'd worked the little butts
Oh, it
off.
was a long day that one was, though, wasn't it?
That was a long old day.
My eyes have just shown up. They've just been talking about you, Kieran. Well, we all been talking about you, but we're not watching the stream. So
Why aren't you watching the stream, Kieran?
you can't hear you because just got my headphones on.
Kieran!
Yeah.
The rest of the dark grey.
Right. What about those two? Are they metal? They look metally on the bottom. The bottom.
Yeah, because the
Sam wants to shout to you.
yes, Sam.
Kieran, why aren't you watching the stream?
Because I was eating food.
Okay, good reason. Carry on.
What were you watching while you were eating food? The Yogg's cast, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Cool.
And of me put down live action and as Warhammer characters.
See, we painted Warhammer characters. Well,
Some of us are painting
Kind of.
well.
yeah.
I've rather let the side down today.
I'm going to have to try and find this other colour now amongst all my other colours. Balls.
Oh.
Oh, actually not. Is it?
Do you want to sit in on Monday's stream, Sam?
Who have we got for this Monday again?
We've got Dan.
No. But you'll have to paint Gaunt's ghosts.
I mean, I don't mind. If you want to do the question and I do painting, then sure.
No, it's Adam, his son, as well. He's going to do the questions, most of the questions. I'm just going to be painting, probably. I'm being too scared to get things wrong.
I don't know, you, with a bit of pre-research and the right questions, you could actually make it quite a sort of thing. Ask him, this particular colour, what colour would animal be? Those sort of things might be a way to approach some of the questions. Would he wear a green flak jacket or Pink flak jacket. Discuss. Oh, I'm going to regret this. I've started painting his coat without painting his shirt first, so I always like to do the inner areas before I go to the outside areas. But there's that. I think after this one I'm going to call it, because I've got a fair selection of these guys further along than I was, and I don't want to push myself too far in one paltry sitting. So better to fade away rather than burn out before I, because there's still a lot of these guys to go. How about you guys? Are you feeling a longer sesh, or are you?
I'm really warm, and I'm really tired.
Oh, make sure you take some paracetamol before you go to bed, because yeah, that second jab can be a doozy, can't it?
We could just have an early one tonight, mind. You know, it's no major thing.
Cool. Well, we've plugged, but it's probably worth mentioning again that we've got Dan Abnett on Monday. So tune in at 8 PM. Be there. Ricky and Adam will be there. Ricky will be painting furiously. Adam will be trying not to fanboy as much as possible, although it's going to be tricky. We've got this Friday. We've got the Pathfinder stream, and then Ricky will tell us about all the ones I forgot to mention, because he's the pro.
So we've got Emma Vicelli on doing a pre-record tomorrow. So if you want to ask any questions, get them in to us on Facebook or Instagram or whatever by 6:30 tomorrow. So, and then that'll be airing on the 26th.
Cool. Yes, so we'll be back on Friday for Pathfinder. If you guys, as we were saying earlier on, fancy playing a bit of Valheim with us, keep an eye on the Discord server. We are open for anyone coming and join us to play. Thank you for watching. We've been Geeks, and have a good evening.
Bye!